Hi, it's the Great Vanzini, and I am back once again. You're sometimes following those chords and you try to remember, what chords did I put in there? It's the Great Vanzini. I'm back again with one more jazz box. I think I got a couple more to go. We're looking at a Guild A150 Savoy. Guild always gives a number and a name. So if you buy an X175 Manhattan, you get two designations, and this is an A150 Savoy. Clearly a jazz box. It's made with, I'm going to have to get my cheat sheet out here. It's made in Korea. And let me see where my glasses went. And so on this guitar, it's very interesting because it has, I'm going to get up close and personal here. Oh boy, I can't even get in the picture here, can I? You're going to get to see that. That's called a Rhythm Chief pickup, and that was first made in 1948. And the story is they either found one in the box brand new and took it apart bit by bit and completely rebuilt it from its original specs. And then another thing I read said they had found the schematic for it or something to that effect. So just if you make videos on YouTube, don't eat barbecued potato chips right before you tape, because it really creates for a sticky neck. So don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. So this is, I'm pretty sure it's all laminates. It's the body is flamed maple. I'll show you that right off the bat, because these are just, they're really nicely done. And this one's not a brand new one. The new ones are actually slightly different than this, in that this one has the Rhythm Chief pickup and a volume control, and there's no tone control on it at all. So for tone, you have to control it through your amp or through an EQ or something like that. The newer versions are different. They're post rosewood. So instead of a rosewood fretboard, they have ebony. This one's rosewood. And instead of this is a rosewood bridge, and instead of rosewood, they have an ebony bridge, which is, I think, probably a better deal. Instead of a single volume knob, they have two little wheels down under the pick guard here. One for tone, so it has a tone control on the newer versions. One for tone and one for volume. So these pickups are interesting in that these were created in 1948, as I recall, and people really loved them. But in the early 50s, 52-ish, 53-ish, they came out with a newer version of this called Rhythm Chief 1000. Oh, I hope I have that right. Yes, 1000. And in about 52 or 53, they came out with the 1100, which had individual pole pieces that were adjustable. And so people went for that. Well, they've come back out with that pickup as well. And people are now upgrading these. Well, they feel they're upgrading them. I love this pickup in some ways to the ones with individual pole pieces. So they have more control over each string and all that. So so this is a arched flame maple body and back. I'm guessing it doesn't say, I'm guessing it's a laminate, I don't know, but it has a solid spruce top. Make sure I got that right. Yes, it's got all that you know, kind of, it's got the white trim with black, what do they call that, purfling? Is that what that is? Yeah, on the body. Not on the F-holes though, but on the body, and on the neck it's just the white trim on it. So it's really good. The first thing when I bought it, I couldn't wait to get it. It's a 17-inch bout. This is bigger than any of the jazz boxes I've shown so far. It's also a little more expensive, but I think worth it. When I first got it, it had no good EQ about it, I guess is how I would say it. if I controlled the higher strings so they weren't too sharp, then the lower strings were really boomy. And if I increased the treble and lowered the bass so the lower strings weren't boomy, then those upper strings were way too sharp. And I talked to, I'm going to forget his name, Kirk, I believe, at Bullfrog Music, a little town south of me in Corvallis, at Bullfrog Music, and it turns out he has the same exact model, but his is in Sunburst. And I bought this because the blonde looked so beautiful, and I thought, I've got enough Sunburst. And then he showed me his in Sunburst, and their Sunburst is really well done. So you can hear that that's a single coil. And just moving my arm. Oh, it's not so grounded so well. Touching the strap button on the back here reduces that. You can also get rid of it just by using the Electro Harmonics hum debugger. We can get rid of most of it. That cranked up way too. So when I saw his Sunburst one, wow, that was good. But anyway, he said part of the problem was that the pickups were just not quite evenly. It kind of sagged down in some spots. So if I put these little styrofoam padding things underneath it and raised it up a little bit, it would be a little more even on each side, and it actually worked quite well. Unfortunately, the little pads, I see there's still one on the bottom of the pickup, not touching the body, but they fell out, and so over a little bit of time. And so I was on one of the blogs, and somebody said, yeah, use an EQ in your guitar. And I thought, what? EQ? I'd never really used an EQ. I went out and bought, I'll take a picture of this later and put it in there so we can get a close-up, a Dano Electro 7-band EQ. It's called the Fish and Chips. And it's got 7 bands, and it's got a master volume or level button on it also. And it works perfectly. I can totally take the bass out of that, and so we're doing a pedal here as well as the guitar, and I can just balance that. A little too much on the bass side there, a little too much volume too. Go all the way down, make it really trebly. Oddly enough, I've always not been a fan of mids, and in this case I keep the bass down a little bit and go up towards the mids, and then on the treble it's like a reverse smiley face, and then on the treble side I keep it actually down, except for the second treble one. On the 7-band, I keep it up a little bit. Oh, now I have it too. I also have reverb in my guitar here. How interesting. It sounds great acoustically. Yeah, so that sounds really good. So what else is there to tell you about it? It's got a really nice, not a thick neck at all, but again, I've heard some of them refer to them as a modified C. Here they all have their own terms for them, and it drives me nuts because it doesn't always really tell you. This is a soft vintage U, and it surprisingly reminds me of another guitar I have that has a soft C. So there's really no difference there, and the terminology doesn't help. If you measured it out, that would probably tell you some. 24 3/4 scale length. It's 1 11/16 here at the nut width, and the neck thickness is 20. Now they go back to millimeters. 20 millimeters here, and up at the 9th fret 24. It's not thick at all. I mean, it really doesn't get real. I can really. I love that neck. Is just great. So, and what do we have here? 17-inch bout here. I don't remember what the bout is down here in the front. I think it's like, I want to say 14. It's a 9.5-inch radius neck, and yes, 17-inch bout back here and 12.5 up front here. Yeah, that makes sense. And the thickness here is about just over 3 inches. Here it's like 3 1/8. I'm not finding it. 3 1/8. I'm pretty sure 3 1/8. And as it moves to the front, you can see it's just a little thinner in the front. That's 3 inches depth up front, 3 1/8 in the back. So, yeah, I don't know what else to tell you about it. 24 3/4, I said that. 20 frets on a 24 3/4. I think that spreads things out. I can play really. I don't feel like I'm cramped up here. And I don't feel like it's my old test, the honky tonk test in F. I used to be able to do that. Now you can't stretch that far anymore. The tuners seem very great. They're just open back tuners, but they just are. It really stays in. You can tune it on Monday, so it'll be ready on Friday. It's one of those, and yeah, open. Well, you know what open back tuners are. They're just completely, the gears are exposed, which I don't mind. I mean, it strikes me that if they do get dirty, I can clean them pretty easy. They're Grovers, I think. I may be wrong on that. For some reason I thought they were Grovers. Excuse me, Grover. That spells Grover. So these are about $1,000 new. I'm not sure what they are right now, but they have made those improvements. They've gone to ebony on the fretboard, ebony on the bridge, tone control and volume control down here. If I thought I needed another jazz box and needed a backup for some, if I was playing live, I would buy 2 of these with no trouble. I might consider upgrading that pickup, although I don't play enough. I don't do anything really live. Once in a while I'll do a little something, but I don't really do enough to justify upgrading it. And I love the old style, the idea that it's taken right from a real 1948. So that's it. If I've forgotten something, let me know. I will get a picture of the Dan Electro. Oh, the Dan Electro. One of them I bought was like $7.95 in a pawn shop. And then the other one was like new. It was still in the, they were in a box, like a plastic container. It had been opened. It was like it wasn't a demo because it was at like Guitar Center. Something somebody had traded in. And they kept all the wrapping and the instructions and all that kind of stuff. And I've never used a high-end EQ, so I don't know if this one's any good. It works perfectly for this guitar, and if this is, you know, pretty critical stuff you want tone-wise. I would love to try a real high-end EQ to see if there's any significant. I can't imagine what it would be. Maybe, since I haven't really ever used one, I don't know. These come with 12-gauge strings. I think I changed these out to 11-gauge flat wounds. So, oh no, I bought this from Sweetwater. Sweetwater just asked me flat out when I bought it, what do you want it set up for? I said 11-gauge strings, and they put on 11-gauge strings for me. And so when I swapped them out, when I changed strings, I just kept with those. 12s are a little much for me these days. So, that's a Guild Savoy A150. I'm pretty sure. Let's see if I wrote that down or not. Yes, an A150, Savoy A150. So that's that. Let's take you out of here. I'll get a picture of the Dan Electro to show up close and personal, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. If you'd like, you can subscribe down below. Give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs down, leave a comment. Tell me if you have jazz boxes and what you have or what you used to have or anything like that. I used to have way too many. And go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know what you think of the guilds, or whatever one you have, or whatever one you've seen around that you're interested in. And I tend towards low end, and that's about the highest end one I have ever had. So until we meet again, we will talk to you later.